All right. Perfect. We are good to go. So welcome here, everyone. We are so excited to have you all here as we get ready for yet another back to school season. As we reminded Paige yesterday, that happens to be next week for us. So I don't know when you're back to school. If you're homeschooling, you can kind of start whenever it is that you want to start. But for us, it is already next week, Wednesday. So that's a little bit crazy. So whether you're a mom, a teacher, or both, we know that this year or this time of year can be a little hectic because not only is school starting, but sports are starting too. So if you have kids in activities like hockey, ringette, volleyball, school sports, any sort of things like that, it is amazing how quick after school starts, those things also get started. And so we wanted to share with you today a couple of the tools that we have implemented into our lives and into our kids so that we can have the energy and the confidence and a strong immune system as we enter yet another season. So tonight we're actually just going to focus on 6 of the key products that have made a huge difference in our lives. There are more out there, so take a peek along the Plexus website, talk to your friend that invited you here today if you're looking for something a little different than what we're talking about today. But what we're going to focus on today is the Vital Biome, the X Factor Kids, because that is so, so wonderful, especially if you have kids that are a little bit younger, the ProBio BioCleanse, and Active. And so these aren't just supplements, they are essential to helping us feel our best, especially when life gets busy, like next week is going to be. So let's start with, actually, we're going to change it up just a little bit. Paige, would you mind sharing your story first? Candace, then I'm going to talk a little bit about the products, and then you are going to go, and then Jenny will go. Sounds good? So Paige is a teacher, and so I am very excited to hear what she has to share about how these products have impacted her on a little bit of a different level yet than just our kids. So Paige, go ahead.
Oh, teacher for 30 years and retiring after this year. So super exciting. But as we were saying in a Zoom when we were talking yesterday, I was kind of oblivious to the fact that yes, school's next week because I've already been at school for a while now. But if you're not a teacher, I mean, we make a lot of assumptions about what teachers do and what their day looks like. But what I can tell you is days are busy and days are very regimented and days are very structured and disciplined. So taking care of yourself can be challenging. Finding times throughout the day to be able to do those kinds of things are critical. Sick days are difficult because when you're not there, you're really playing catch up the next few days. So being away is difficult. So taking care of myself, I would say about 8 years ago, I found myself in a very different situation. It was a perfect storm of IBS, anxiety, eczema, and a whole host of other things. Enter Plexus. It changed everything. There was a period of time about years ago where I had to actually stop. Oh, somebody else. Where I had to stop working actually and get these things under control. So being able to take these products and find the energy to go throughout the day, slim in the morning for me, critical start to the day, and active in the afternoon to get through the rest of it. But really one of the key factors for me was the X Factor Plus, because as we know, when you're interacting with a lot of kids, they carry a lot of stuff. They don't wash their hands all the time, even through COVID. And we had kids all through COVID, as some schools did not, but we were actually with our students. So there were a lot of challenges even through that period of time. So having these products for me was critical. So I wasn't bringing home everything and anything that's out there that kids can come to school with. So having all that kind of stuff in my tool belt was critical to be able to get to school, be at school, be who I needed to be, and do the things that I needed to do for the kids, and then come home and still have the energy to have a life at home. Right? It can really tax you when you're a teacher, and then when you're coming home, it's like, oh, exhale, I made it. But then there's a whole nother life at home as well. So having the ability to plow through all of that, the products have done amazing things for creating the space to do that and the energy to do it. So thank goodness for Plexus. And last year.
That's amazing. Not Candice, Paige, which products would you say that you started with and which ones would you have added on?
I started with the triplex because that's a really good foundation for everybody, cleaning out all the gunk and getting, a fresh start there. Quickly adding in the X Factor. The active when it came to be for us, because that hasn't been obviously 8 years, but that was really critical in carrying through the rest of the day because I always started my slim in the morning. So it was a great little, okay, now let's finish the day strong. So that was wonderful for me. And the vital biome, I mean, getting off of medication and being able to take a probiotic that was helpful with stress and whatnot was very, very helpful.
Okay, that's awesome. And we're going to talk about some of those today. So let's just talk a little bit about some of the specific products that we just mentioned. So Vital Biome, we all know how stressful it is to manage back to school schedules. And for, like Paige just said, if she's there in the structure and after school activities and work and all of that stuff. So Vital Biome is basically a breath of fresh air for your gut and for your mind. It is just literally what it is. So it's actually designed to reduce the feelings of stress and improve your mood. You guys, that's a win-win. Like everybody needs that in this season coming out, right? Then there's X Factor and X Factor Kids. So X Factor Kids is a chewable. It's actually really good. I know some grown-ups that specifically order it and they take it themselves because it's just so good. But nutrition is key. It is really key. And so busy mornings, my kids are not big breakfast eaters, but we know how important it is to start your day off right. So even if we're in a big rush for school, because heaven forbid we didn't wake up early enough and we are just rushing around and everybody just wants like a spoonful of peanut butter or something like that for breakfast, if you can at least get that multivitamin there yet, as a mom, you just feel that much better sending them to school, knowing that they got something good into their day, right? It's got your vitamins, and the X Factor Kids actually has the probiotics in the chewable as well. So your kid is actually getting the vitamins, minerals, and the probiotics, which is just amazing. You don't have to think about yet another thing to add to their regimen. It is just a really quick one-stop shop, right? Probio 5, like Paige mentioned, is like the foundation of overall health. It's for balancing the good bacteria in your digestive system, dealing with the sugar cravings, digestive issues, and even the occasional mom brain, because we all deal with that. It breaks down the yeast and it promotes a healthy gut flora. So it is the one that I started with back in the day, like almost 10 years ago, you guys. I started with the ProBio, the BioCleanse, and the Slim, and it's been really, really impactful for us. And so then comes in BioCleanse. Dr. Jess would say that a good friend doesn't let someone take ProBio without adding BioCleanse, because if you're removing the toxins from your system, you want to make sure that you're actually flushing it out. And that is what BioCleanse does. It's just magnesium and vitamin C. And so it just helps with that feeling of sluggishness, that feeling of bloat, and getting all that stuff out. And then active, that is something that got introduced into our Plexus lineup a couple years ago, and I think we all love it. My son is a hockey player, now volleyball player, and it's just so nice to be able to offer him an energy drink that is not just so caffeinated and with all the other things in it at the age that he is right now. And so it is a really wonderful tool. So it gives you the energy that you need. It's a clean, natural energy drink that not only boosts your energy, but also improves your mental clarity and focus. So again, that is just such an awesome thing to be able to give to your kids and for you as well. It's something both mom and kids do. So Candice is a mom as well. And so she works in the school system as well, and she has kids that go. So Candice, would you mind just sharing your story briefly with us?
Sure. So mama four, business owner, and I actually just started in the school last week. So yeah, so life is busy right now. For me personally, I started on triplex. I just for the energy and just the gut health cleaning part. The slim really helped with my energy to begin with. We didn't have active, like Paige said, at that time when I started either. And I literally went from napping on my lunch break to like spinning in my chair in circles because the slim had so much energy for me. In regards to helping with our family, I have, well, he's now 14, but he dealt with constipation as a little one. So that helped clean up that issue altogether. And then our daughter, Vital Biome has helped her quite a bit in these lovely teenage higher anxiety years. So that has definitely helped her. And then, so I just actually ordered Kids X Factor again. And the kids basically go for it like right away. They're like, okay, 2 weeks before school, time to start taking, the Kids X Factor. And I don't even have to remind them anymore.
That's awesome.
But
So nice when they know the effects that it has and that they feel good and that they're willing to just even remember to go take it themselves, right?
yeah.
That's fantastic.
And share with their friends.
And share with their friends. Yes, I love that. Jenny, I think that you're just pulling over. She was just driving home, so we're going to give her a second. She is a homeschooling mom to two, and so she is just going to share how it has impacted their family in a positive way. Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, yes. So when we started homeschooling during COVID, I was already on the products for about 6-7 years. So I was a-okay with my gut health, but I got to know my kids at a whole different level, and I was with them all day long. So there may or may not have been some stressful situations. I was getting to know them. They were getting to know me. I actually did not even know how they learn. So we found out very quickly that vital biome is the way to go. So as soon as we notice a little bit of a stressful situation or season coming up, I'm putting them on vital biome, because literally in 2 days from when we start vital biome, it makes a big difference. So you might have heard me say that my son will not be without vital biome as long as I'm the teacher. So as soon as there's a little bit of a stressful situation coming up or a test or something, I'm putting him on that. Also, what I noticed is we all like to be up very late, but we also like to have a schedule in the morning. And it doesn't really work well for us to have school starting at 10 or so, because in the morning we are just, I don't know, the capacity is better in the morning. So I needed them to get up a little earlier, but for that I needed them to have a better sleep. And as soon as sleep came out, I actually put them on that, and we just took quarters. The kids took quarters of a gummy, and me and my husband took half of a gummy, and it made such a big difference because they actually fell asleep sooner. They slept deeper throughout the night, and then getting up in the morning, they were way more bushy-tailed than if they don't have them. And that just makes school a lot more fun if they had a good night's sleep, if they feel rested. And yeah, and then if they're feeling a little anxious, then vital biome just helps a ton. For the times where focus is really a problem, then I will do edge, but that's not a constant supplement.
I love that. That's so helpful. And that is like, my kids take ProBio every day, but I need to remember to order Vital Biome now for school for them as well. That is very fantastic. And Miss Luann, I do not remember how many kids you have, Luann, but I do know that you homeschool all of them. And so if you just want to give us a little bit of background and just share what is essential in your family's supplement cupboard during the school season.
Absolutely. So I am a homeschooling mom of 7, and I don't know where we would be without Plexus. First of all, when I heard all of your stories, I was like, check, 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 and check. Yes, that was me. That was us. That was us. So I started taking Plexus before my kids were officially in school. And so often I think back and I wonder, I can't even wrap my mind around where I would be if I would not have supported my body to show up, to stay calm, to have focus, because I was at the point where I couldn't even call my kids by name or hold a conversation without crying. And now my brain is working, my energy is there. I'm able to stay awake and teach them and read stories to them. And it is a huge, huge blessing. So I could go on and on about my own story, but shifting over to my kids, one huge deal for us is the kids' X factor. We live a very social lifestyle. Although we homeschool, I think our kids are exposed just as much or more as the ones in public school because we're always out and about. And one thing we notice is that whenever I run out of Kids X Factor, and that happens a lot because that's what my husband lives on, He says they work better for him than the adults, but I think he actually likes the flavor. I think that's what's going on there. So he'll eat multiple ones a day, and I can hardly keep the stock there. But he keeps reminding me to reorder because he says every time you run out, the kids get sick. And I had to agree, it's true. We're exposed to so much stuff, and when their immune systems are not built up, they tend to catch stuff that they're exposed to. But I've also noticed when their immune systems are built up, sometimes they get very light symptoms while other kids are down for a week or end up in the hospital with RSV or whatever it is. Their immune systems are just working as they should. So yeah, another one for us was active. And I know some people give their kids Edge as well. I don't have experience with that. I don't have kids that have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, but I know a lot of parents. I kept getting the stories from the clients that I was helping of how those two help their children with ADD and ADHD. So, and it helped them with concentration and focus. So when my kids were ready to go for piano lessons, I decided to do a little test and I gave them active. And I didn't say anything to the piano teacher, but after the lesson, she said, something was different today. She just grasped so much. I was like, yeah, I know what it was. So anyway, that is our story in a nutshell. I heard the word constipation. I was like, man, oh man, yes. I birthed all of my kids with my gut health. I was constipated for 25 solid years. So BioCleanse was like a savior. It was like an angel to me. And I would never, though my gut is fixed up, I can go without now and not be constipated at all because my gut is good. But I still always have it here for all the other benefits. So my story in a nutshell. Any questions?
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for sharing. So as we wrap up tonight, we just want to remind you that taking care of yourself isn't just about surviving the day-to-day, it's about thriving. And that is what adding these supplements into your day-to-day routine can do for you. It's just that great support to make sure that you can thrive in this busy season, because before we know it, our kids are grown. Right, Kim? Our kids are grown, and that busy schedule that seems so hectic right now, we're going to miss. And so we need to enjoy every single second of it while we can. So thank you all for joining us. Let's make this school year the best one we can for our kids, for the teachers, for us as parents. And if you have any questions about any of these products, just feel free to reach out to the person that invited you here or in the pages that you're all part of, and we can get those answered for you. So thank you, ladies, for sharing tonight, and thank you guys all for joining us. Have a good night.